Sire, the kindness your majesty deigns to evince towards me is a recompense which so far surpasses my utmost ambition that I have nothing more to ask for. Never mind, sir, we will not forget you. Make your mind easy. In the meanwhile, the king here detached the cross from the Legion of Honor, which he usually wore over his blue coat, near the cross of St. Louis, above the order of the Notre Dame du Mont Carmel and St. Lazare, and gave it to Villefort. In the meanwhile, take this cross. Sire, said Villefort, your majesty mistakes. This is an officer's cross. Ma foi, said Louis de Witt. Take it such as it is, for I have not the time to procure you another. Blanca, let it be your care to see that the brevet is made out and sent to Monsieur de Villefort. Villefort's eyes were filled with tears of joy and pride, and he took the cross and kissed it. And now, he said, may I inquire what the orders are with which your majesty deigns to honor me? Take what rest you require, and remember that if you are not able to serve me here in Paris, you may be of the greatest service to me at Marseilles. Sire, said Villefort, bowing, in an hour I shall have quitted Paris. Go, sir, said the king, and should I forget you, king's memories are short, do not be afraid to bring yourself to my recollection. Baron, send for the Minister of War. Blacas, remain. Ah, sir, said the Minister of Police to Villefort, as they made for the Tuileries. You entered by luck's door. Your fortune is made. Will it be long first, muttered Villefort, saluting the minister, whose career was ended, and looking about him with a hackneyed coach. One passed at the moment, which he hailed. He gave his address to the driver, and springing in, threw himself on the seat, and gave loose to dreams of ambition. Alrighty, we are in the penultimate episode of Chapter 11, and Villefort, how did you work this out for yourself, man? Just getting a Medal of Honor for ratting out Dante, imprisoning him. Oh man, and getting the admiration of a guy who just got fired in front of you. You get an honor, he gets fired, and he still respects you and isn't totally pissed off here. You're a smooth operator. I'm going to say that right now, Mr. Villefort. Monsieur Villefort. You know how to work a room. The king looks like he's preparing for war now, calling for the Minister of War, telling the Minister of Police to stand back. Do you think we're going to get a passage in this of war? I wonder. You know, this book is about as long as War and Peace. So, as we know in that book, it goes through periods of war and goes through periods of peace. Instead, we're talking about the Count of Monte Cristo. Actually, I'm just starting to wonder, how does that come into play here? Dante is imprisoned on the Chateau d'If. We briefly mentioned the island of Monte Cristo at one point. In passing, it sounded like Danglars and Dante were going to go have it out. They never did, but they were going to go have it out on the island of Monte Cristo as they passed it for whatever that skirmish they had was that we still don't know. How does one become the Count of Monte Cristo? Okay, I'm deviating from what we've read here today. Let's finish up talking a bit about King Louis de Witt, the 18th, Louis the 18th. Basically, he was the first king of the monarch after Napoleon in 1814, and he reigned until 1824. I hope this isn't a spoiler alert for Napoleon and his 100 days. There's a brief interruption that happens during that period to King Louis's reign here, but he does hold on to power until 1824. Basically, he oversaw the restoration of the monarchy. He was responsible for getting the throne back in power over France and France's territories, but it was slightly different than it was before the revolution. He takes on a more constitutional monarchy, which involves charters and all sorts of limited representation of the people, which was different than before. This is, after the revolution, brought forth, ideas of democracy and representation. Louis DeWitt comes in as a kind of figure of compromise. We're going to restore the monarchy after the chaos of Napoleon, and in order to do that, I'm going to have to, take on some of the demands of the revolution, and we're going to figure this thing out together. But you know what? I'm still in power. You know what? You're still going to have to obey my laws. So that's essentially all we really need to know, I think, for this novel, or at least what we've been presented of King Louis DeWitt so far in the story. If he comes up again, we'll go deeper into him. But that's basically what we need to know. The precariousness of where he's at in this position. We're talking about the beginning of his restoration, the beginning of his reign, with Napoleon coming back. Like, this is a very, very crucial time for the king to sustain his power, sustain confidence in the people, because they were just overthrown and they're just now back. If they get overthrown again, especially by Napoleon, who was already in charge for a while, then he wasn't, and then he is coming back. Oh God. Okay, let's not get into real world stuff. That just gave me a pang of anxiety. Let's you know what? Hey, you know what? This is the penultimate episode, and what better way to get us out of that nonsense than doing a little bit of appreciation. You know what, folks? I'm glad you're here. I feel like I'm doing this in a vacuum a lot of the times. I don't even have a co-host to bounce off of. I'm literally just in my podcast studio, which is a converted closet. And I sometimes feel like I'm in a vacuum. So the fact that you are here listening every day makes me feel better. And we're going to get through these 4 years together. With that said, I really appreciate you being here, and there are ways that you can really help others find the show. I've said it before. I'm going to say it again real quick. You can become a patron over at patreon.com/gruntworkpod, which is the Gruntwork Podcast Network. There, your contributions go to helping this show be ad-free. You're helping to make it a reality for the next 4 years to make sure that we get through this thing. But you also get some bonus content. You get the story-only audio files. So if you don't want my rambling commentary on all this stuff, you can go and just listen to the story straight through. Tomorrow, Chapter 10 will be there, and you can get all of Chapter 1 through 10 for just $1 a month. And if you can rate or review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you're listening, subscribe to us on YouTube. It goes such a long way to help us spread the word. So I really, really appreciate that. Anything you can do, share an episode, push a little thumbs up on one of the YouTube videos, just tap the 5-star on Apple Podcast or on Spotify. Whatever you can do to help the show, I deeply, deeply appreciate it. Thank you so, so much. And tomorrow we're going to round out Chapter 11 with an exciting little announcement. Emphasis on little. Let's not get too crazy here. Okay, I will see you here tomorrow for more of The Count of Monte Cristo and the conclusion of Chapter 11. Okay, bye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.